Ladies and gentlemen, National Rifle Association of India welcomes you to the Dr. Karni Singh Shooting Ranges, New Delhi, India. We are going to witness the finals for the 10-meter air rifle junior men event. Firing point A, representing India, we have Prashant Tanwar with best achievements.
Welcome once again. This is the finals of the 10-meter air rifle men junior, so effectively the under 21. And I can tell you that qualification was quite interesting. There are 3 countries which have found their way across to the finals. India and Iran both have 3 participants, and there are 2 from Korea, one of them on screen. I'm Deban Sen, alongside me Digvijay Singh Deo. We got a glimpse of Prashant, who got through to the final, and now we are looking at Han Chang-hee from Korea. But Digvijay, expected challenge coming in from the Iranians in this particular competition.
Yes, Devan, the Iranians have been doing well in air rifle, and just a short while back I was speaking to Laszlo Suchak, who is the coach, and just look at the scores. Mohammad Hussein Karimi qualified with a score of 626.4. That score would actually put him at about 7th or 8th in any given World Cup, and there are 4 World Cups a year in shooting. So that just shows the class he has, and that just shows the fight the Indians are going to have. Prashant, Akhil and Pratik have actually done very well for India in the last 1 year as a junior team. But clearly here, Karimi is the one who is the top gun. But as we've been saying all through this telecast, Debayan, it doesn't matter what you shoot in qualifying.
Absolutely, it boils down to the finals, and that's where all these young men will have to keep their nerve. But certainly lots of hopes from all the Indians. One of them, Akil Sharan here, was part of the team which won the bronze at the World Universidad in Gwangju in July. So good form, which is always helpful in any sport, particularly in a sport like this and at a junior level.
Yes, and he will be disappointed with his qualifying score because he had 2 cards in the second and third of 100 points, but clearly bounced back well after that, and that just goes to show the kind of mental strength. And just on another note, this is Mohammad Hussein Karimi, the leader in qualification, who scored 626.4. He is the top gun going into this final, and another one of the new breed of shooters from Iran.
Held at Germany 2015.
Third and final Indian next, Pratik Borse, comes from Maharashtra, 19 years of age, and also has a fairly good pedigree. A lot of these players have been participating in the national championships on a regular basis, so they're not completely unused to the pressure of competition. But as you rightly said, Digvijay, all the the qualification is all in the past now. What it boils down to is the 20 shots here.
Yes, an interesting anecdote about Pratik was that at the ISSF Junior World Cup in Seoul, which is the annual tournament which the ISSF conducts for the junior shooters, he actually reached the final and finished 6th. So a huge achievement for an Indian shooter at that level to actually reach the final.
Just to recap for you once again, 20 shots maximum for the players. This is how they line up. The 3 Iranians, 2 Koreans and the 3 Indians, who the home crowd will certainly be hoping will be adding to the joy which has already been provided in the morning session by young Satyajit.
Yes, and right next to us is the Indian junior team, so one does hope that their cheering doesn't affect our commentary.
So the first set of 3 shots inside the first 150 seconds. Such a critical battle as we saw in the first fight of today, or rather the first finals of today as well in the youth category. And once you get off to a good start, it just keeps you going with that momentum. That's something which Satyajit did quite well.
Yes, and momentum is very key, because if you go back to the Asian Games where Hina Sidhu actually led in the Asian Games, but she didn't get off to a very good start and was the second shooter to be eliminated. Similarly, Debayan, Ionika Paul had a fantastic qualifying series in the World Championship last year. She scored 420, which was the highest ever by an Indian. But she did not start off too well and could not make up, and as a result, she was the first shooter to get eliminated. So the trick here is the first 3 shots, get decent scores on the board, and then build on that. Because if you get one shot wrong, it's very difficult to catch up because everyone is trying to peak in those first 6 shots.
You're looking at Prashant, and let's see what kind of score he comes up with to begin with. The first shot is from Karimi. He shoots a 9.6. The man who led coming into these finals. And immediately we have a leader. His compatriot Sadagat scores 10.4. And there's also a 10.5 from India's Pratik Borse.
Akil Sharan responds with a 10.2.
Prashant is taking his time with his first shot. Eventually gets a 10.3. That's a good start for him as well. And Sameh gets the highest, 10.7 after the first shot.
From the first shot itself, Debayan, the challenge has been laid down in a sense.
As Karimi in his second shot has pulled off a 10.5. That will just put him in a slightly better position.
The 10.7 from Akil Sharan, and even though he didn't have a very good qualifying, Deban, his teammates were telling me that the 3 Indians who are in the final here are very good final shooters. So, you know, if the Iranians think that just by topping the qualification the job is done, well, they have a fight on their hands.
Karimi's third shot is also 10.4, so not as impressive as you would expect. Han also disappoints with a 9.9. Choi, the other Korean, picks up a 10.0. Prashant has had a good start. His third shot will be crucial for him. 9.6.
And this is where the final can be won or lost. You have to be consistent all throughout. The good final shooters, Deban, they try to keep it 10.1 and above all through the finals.
We have completed the first round of 3 shots, and after that Akil Sharan of India with a slender lead ahead of another shooter from India, Pratik Borse, who's in second position.
And then there's a tie for third with Karimi and Prashant, so clearly the Indians.
After the first series of 3 shots, Shevran Akil, representing India, is leading with 31.0 points.
Akil has a score of 31. Pratik, Karimi and Prashant all tied for second position at 30.5. And there's really nothing in it. Mahyar Sadagat is just 0.2 behind them. Han Chang-hee has just 0.3 behind them. And Choi Jung-min is perhaps the only one who had a slightly disappointing score to begin with. He will need to come back into this.
Yes, he has to. And the next 3 shots are going to prove crucial because you don't want to leave until the 7th and 8th, which is the pressure shots, which you know that one of the shooters is going to get eliminated. So these 3 shots are going to decide where they end up. Just to give you an insight, at the Commonwealth Games in 2014, Abhinav Bindra didn't start off too well in the first 3 shots, but once he was into his stride, he never let the lead slip. So it's very important to get that momentum going from here on.
First round of shots, everybody has scored below 10, apart from Sharan, who's got a 10.2, and Choi, who's also managed 10.3. Akil Sharan is still in the lead, that's for sure. Let's see for how long.
And Choi will be breathing a sigh of relief because he's got a 10.3 and everybody else around him has got 9.7s, 9.9s. And the Iranian Sameh has got a 10.6.
Karimi fires a 10.7 as well. So just raising their level. Han has also shot a 10.7 in his second shot. And Sadagat also gets a 10.7. 10.6 each for Borse as well as Sameh. And Prashant shoots a 10.7.
Things are hotting up, Deban.
Choi fires a 10.7 as well.
The pressure now, they ban on Akil Sharan because he had a 9.9.
You can see the pressure here on Karimi. He started off as the favorite, but he's just started slipping a little bit.
But he has the lead now.
Yes, absolutely. The last shot was an important one. He picked up a 10.3. Still waiting for the final shot of Prashant's. So Prashant retains the lead. He picks up a 10.4. Prashant is on 61.5. Karimi is on 61.4. And Prateek is 0.5 behind Karimi.
A couple of bad shots from Akil, and that has seen him fall down to 5th.
After the second series of 3 shots.
But it's game on, Devan. 61.5 for Prashant, 61.4 for Karimi, and 61.3 from the Korean Jeongmin Choi. So just 0.2 in it.
I think Choi has been fabulous, especially in his second round of 3 shots. He's picked up 31.6 because he was trailing at last position after the first 3 shots, and from there to have come up to 3rd position, very creditable, and just within 0.2 of the leader.
Yes, and the Koreans, Devan, are very good shooters in when it comes to air rifle. They already have one quota for the Rio Olympic Games, and they'll be hoping for one more at the Asian Championship, which is the last quota place on offer for the men's air rifle in Asia. A country can have a maximum of 2 quotas per event.
The next 2 shots will determine the first elimination. And at the moment, the man who is under pressure is Sedaghat. Got a direct face-off in a sense with Han. And between the two of them, they need to just make sure that they stay in this game. Karimi fires a 10.4. That's a good shot. All up to Prashant now. 10.7 from Sedaghat. Prateek gets a 10.2 as well. Good shot from Prashant, 10.5, but Han has got a 10.7 for himself. Outstanding shooting from everybody, barring Akil Sharan, who's just managed 9.4 here.
It seems that the same problems which affected him in qualifying are now affecting his shooting in the final. There's clearly something's not right, maybe something wrong in the positioning or the way he's actually standing, because everyone else around him is actually really upping the ante.
So Prashant still has the lead. He has a 0.2 lead ahead of Karimi. Prateek Borse is in bronze medal position at the moment. He's joined on 71.1 with Choi Jeong-min from Korea and Han Jang-chi also from Korea. And there's just a little bit of a tricky position for Mahyar Sedaghat. Even though he shot as 10.7, he's still 0.7 behind Akil Sharan.
And one would have expected a 10.7 to really pull him up the rankings, but clearly the others are shooting so high as well that it didn't affect him that much. This is the moment of reckoning the bar. This one shot is going to decide who stays and fights on and who will have to unfortunately be eliminated. An interesting battle going on between Karimi and Prashant. Both pretty consistent, 10.4, 10.5 is what they're shooting.
Sedaghat's got a 9.8, so that's a sigh of relief in a sense for Sharan. Unless he gets a really poor score, he should be safe.
But Prashant has let the lead slip with a 9.5, and even Sharan has had a 9.5.
But it will mean that Sedaghat will probably be the one to get eliminated, because he was 0.7 behind and now he's 0.4 behind Akil Sharan. So the lead now comes back to Karimi as it did right at the start of this competition. Han Chang-hee has moved up to 2nd position, and just close on his heels Prateek Borse. Prashant has dropped down, and Mahyar Sedaghat of Iran was closest here to the picture. He will now have to exit the stage.
We have the first decision and have to say goodbye to Sedaghat Mahyar, representing Iran.
Close between the Indians at the moment as it stands. Prateek Borse and Prashant are separated by 0.1, and this is for the bronze medal. But since this is the 8th shot, they will hopefully in the next couple of series try to up their scoring and get back into contention for the gold, which a few shots back they were in 1st and 3rd.
19-year-old Sedaghat, first man to be eliminated. So down to the 7 men right now. And Karimi with some consistent shooting. The last few shots of his have been absolutely exceptional.
Pressure now, Debayan, on Sharan.
Also because Karimi scores a 10.5. Good first shot in this next round of two.
And what is interesting to note, Debayan, is that he's not waiting too long.
Borse with a 10.8. Outstanding work.
But Prashant has shot a 9.1. That's going to further pull him down.
Yes, that will probably mean that he will now be in the elimination area alongside Akil Sharan. So from an Indian perspective, it just puts a little bit of pressure on him. Akil Sharan still is in last place. So all to play for in the next shot, where Samay is 0.3 ahead of him at 90.0. Akil Sharan is on 89.7. But Karimi still leading, and Pratik Borse has come up to second thanks to that 10.8.
Yes, and as I was telling you, Devan, it's when you look at shooting and especially a rifle, if you're shooting fast and shooting right at the beginning, that means that you very well in the zone. You know, you're sighting the target very well, and that's why you see all throughout this final, it's Karimi who had this excellent qualifying of 626.4, who's started out well and he's getting the high score. It's not just he's fluctuating; he's got the 10.4, 10.5, 10.6, and that is fantastic shooting to maintain over a series of 7 or 8 shots.
That's a phenomenal score, that is 626.4, which he managed. Also, when you take into account the fact that in 10-meter air rifle men, the record is 633.5, so not too far away from it.
But the commentator's curse probably, Devan, he just shot a 9.8, but he was the first person to shoot.
Oh, great shot from Borse. He fires a 10.7. Han has also pulled in a 10.2. Prashant just staying in the competition with 10.0.
I think Sharan has survived. He shot a 10.6 and Choi had a 10.
And Samay has also shot a very poor 9.6. So this will be an interesting situation. I think Samay might drop out. Indeed, he does.
Yes, and very poor for the last two shots, just 18.8, while Akil Sharan responded with a 20.7. And in this series, Devayan, Pratik Borse with a 21.5 over his two shots has taken him to the lead.
Incredible good shooting from the Indians. And as we mentioned right at the start, 8 shooters in the finals, 3 from India, 3 from Iran to begin with. But as things stand, 2 of the Iranians have been eliminated. So now it's a bit of a face-off between India and Korea, isn't it? Although Karimi, to be fair to him, is still very much in the reckoning.
And the way he has been shooting, he still is the man to beat, Devan. He's had a couple of poor shots, but then such has been his consistency since the morning that one would not write him off.
Karimi currently in second position to Pratik Borse. Han Chang-hee from Korea is in third position. Two eliminations out of the way. As Samay moves away.
And now for the next elimination, it's between the Indians. It's between Sharan and Prashant.
So this next shot, in all respects, will be quite critical because whoever is in any sort of danger will be hoping for an outstanding shot to just pull away and put some pressure.
There's just 0.3, Devan, just 0.3 between them.
Karimi and Han begin, but both of them begin poorly. Karimi with 9.6, Han with 9.8. Borse with a 10.3. Prashant with 10.4 as well.
So Borse has extended his lead at the moment.
All eyes on Akil Sharan. 10.2. Just a little bit of breathing space now for him.
The difference between him and Prashant is 0.5. So Prashant, going into this next shot, is in a sense the favorite to survive this elimination.
Pratik Bose is still leading and he has a fairly healthy lead now. He's 1.3 ahead of Karimi. Karimi is on 112.1. Han Chang-hee is on 111.7. And after that there's a fair clutter, but yes, as Digvijay rightly said, it's all up to Prashant and Akil Sharan. One of them, in all likelihood, will survive this next shot.
It's interesting, Debayan, just to see the way they are shooting and how nerves can affect a competition. Karimi starting off this time with a 10.7, that breaks the rut of 2 9s. But a couple of bad shots and, you know, your competition could be over.
Borse at the top 10.0, so that will just bridge the gap between him and Karimi. It was
Should be down to
1.3 going into it.
0.6, yes.
Absolutely. Oh, fantastic shot from Prashant, 10.8. A lot of pressure on Sharan. He scores a 10.3. That means he will not survive this particular elimination.
Yes, but that 10.8 is such a great shot, not just for the fact that it's almost close to bullseye, it's also pulled him up to third place.
Pratik Borse representing India, still maintaining the lead with 123.4.
So Pratik Borse has the lead. Prashant has now moved up to third position. And unfortunately, it will be an Indian who will be eliminated now after this particular series of shots. It will be Akil Sharan who will have to put his rifle down. So the first Indian elimination, the Koreans are still hanging in there, and that's been quite impressive. They've been quite consistent, although in the last two shots they've been a little poor, both of them shooting on an average less than 10.
Yes, at the moment, as it stands, Pratik seems to be a bit ahead and should be the favorite now, but the way Karimi responded with that 10.7 shows that he's still got plenty of fight left in him.
Akil Sharan, one of the bronze medal winners from the World Universidad. Fortunately, no medals for him this time, but of course, there will also be a team score at the end of this, where surely with 3 finalists, India would have done well. Oh, he fires another 10.7, does Karimi.
And just looking at him, Debayan, by the time the other shooters next to him are sighting, he's already shot his score and he's calmly relaxing.
Borse fires a 10.4, so he'll still stay in first position.
But just with Karimi coming back strongly.
Absolutely, it's only going to be a 0.3 difference now. Choi has also fired well, 10.5. Outstanding firing from everybody, all of them shooting in excess of 10. So it's a 0.3 gap at the top.
With 133.8 is Pratik Borse representing India.
In the context of shooting, there's daylight between Karimi and Prashant, the difference of 1.5. But behind them, with the race for the bronze medal is hotting up because just 0.5 separates the next 3 shooters.
Absolutely, and also the next shot is, of course, going to be an elimination shot, and it is between the 2 Koreans. Because Prashant is at a healthy distance, but if he misfires, then he could so easily drop into a dangerous position. Han and Choi, both of them, just about 0.3 within each other. Need to fire well, both of them. First relatively poor shot in a long time by Karimi, just 10.2. He has been very consistent of late. And fires a 10.7, so all up to Choi now. In all likelihood, the man who might get eliminated here.
Borse has shot a 10.1. He still has the lead, but it's coming down with every shot.
Each of them shooting in above excess of 10, and Prashant, even though he did slip down a bit, but Han, his 10.7 sees him survive, and Choi Jong-min unfortunately will have to lead. Pratik Borse is still in the lead, but it's a very narrow lead now. It's just 0.2 ahead of Karimi.
Yes, and for the bronze medal, we're in fact tied at the moment with Han and Prashant. Prashant shooting a 10.5 and Han a 10.7, so a dead heat there, Devan.
With the score of 141.9. Congratulations for securing.
Well, I suppose no disrespect to the youth, but we are just seeing the level go up in the junior, and it's working as a nice appetizer for the big event coming up later, isn't it? The quality is just going up with each shot.
Absolutely, and well, when you have Abhinav Bindra, Gagan Narang, Chen Singh, Yuri Yukov, all quota placeholders for the Olympics, you know that things are hotting up.
Now it's between 2 Indians, 1 Korean, and this man, Karimi. Again, firing early. 10.1 though.
This is Borse's chance. If he actually gets in a good 10.5, 10.6, that sees him extend his lead.
He gets a 10.1 as well, so he still stays on top, but only just. And Prashant has an opportunity which he just misses. He gets a 9.4 because Han had shot 9.6. So Prashant will now drop into that 4th position, just 0.2 behind Han.
0.2 behind Han. The next shot, in fact, is for the bronze medal, and it's still anyone's game. 0.2 means, you know, it's still very much possible. Anything above 0.4, 0.5, difficult to catch up. Such such is the quality of shooting, but 0.2 is something Prashant will be hoping that he can actually pull this one out from somewhere.
Yes, it looks at the moment like two different contests. It's between Pratik Borse and Karimi for the gold. And Han and Prashant, this next shot will determine which of them will stay on and perhaps fight only at best for bronze. That's perhaps the best way that one can encapsulate all that has happened thus far at the Dr. Karni Singh shooting range in this 10-meter air rifle junior men final. .7 from Karimi, pressure on Borse now.
And this is where Borse didn't capitalize on those 10.2s and the 10.1s from Karimi.
Borse gets a 9.8. Han has also fired a 10.7. Prashant gets a 10.1. So Prashant, unfortunately, will be the one who will have to miss out on a medal prospect. However, the good news for India is that they are assured of at least one medal.
And Pratik Borse has actually fallen to second place after result of that 9.8. So even though he led by 0.2 now, Karimi leads by 0.7.
They have a difference of 0.7.
At least we have three different nationalities on the podium tonight.
Absolutely. And that was the case in the first one as well. The only difference was there was no Korean. We had a man from Taipei in the youth, the under 18 division of the men's air rifle. So 19-year-old Prashant, unfortunately no medal for him this time around. But fought on till the end and had a stage in the middle when he was even leading. So just tells you about how volatile this finals format can be. Karimi back in pole position.
Yes, and to an extent, he's been the best shooter since the morning session and qualifying. And he's been fairly consistent. He starts off again with a 10.4. So clearly he's found that rhythm, which in the middle he had lost in a couple of shots, went for a 9.6 and 9.7.
That's a great shot from Borse as well. Just keeps him in it. Good shooting from all three, in fact. Han got a 10.1, Borse fires a 10.6, but Karimi still has the lead. He's 0.5 ahead of Borse, and now this next shot should, in all likelihood, see Han Chang-hee have to be satisfied with the bronze.
So 3 shots for Pratik Borse if he really wants to get on that podium and join the other Indian this morning who actually won the gold and started off this championship on a golden note for India.
Satyajit Kandhol, the first gold medalist at this 8th Asian Airgun Championship. Who will be the second one?
Load. Start.
Pratik Borse has been in this position. He was at the final. And Karimi has in fact cracked, he shot a 9.6, so let's see if Borse can get a high 10, which takes him back into the lead.
He gets a 10.3. That is absolutely fabulous stuff. Borse is back in the lead. It's only just its 0.2. And Han Chang-hee, just as we anticipated, has to satisfy himself with the bronze. With a combined score of 183.2.
But this is what we want to see. The final of the event going on for the last 2 shots.
Iran with a score of 184.5 and the bronze medal for the 10 meters air rifleman junior event for the Asian Championship.
So Korea registered their first individual medal, it must be said. They did win the team gold of the youth air rifle event in the morning session. Han will finish in 3rd position. But now up to Karimi and Borse. This will be quite interesting. These last 2 shots, especially the first one, could decide a long way.
Chances of Karimi getting out the first shot?
Well, he cracked the last time. He'll feel the pinch. Oh, he fires a 10.4. Outstanding shooting from him. Now it's all up to Borse.
10.2 and it's a tie. Anything above he leads.
10.0. So the lead is back with Karimi now. It's just a 0.2 lead, so it's all down to the last shot. Couldn't get any closer.
Pretty thrilling final, and to an extent, if you look at the way these two have shot over the last 20-30 minutes, the best 2 shooters are standing at the end.
No doubt about it. He's feeling the pressure. He's only a young man, Karimi, just 19 years of age. Sweating profusely.
not just him, the man. Look around us.
For the next
The Indian junior team is sitting next to us, and
No.
everyone's pretty tense at the moment.
A few chewed fingernails, I'm sure.
Start.
It all boils down to this. The final shot of the men's junior competition, 10-meter air rifle at the Asian Airgun here.
10.5 from Karimi. Borse needs a 10.8. He manages only a 9.2, so the score will go to Karimi. Mohammad Hossain Karimi. Fine shooting from him all through this junior championship. And he's finished with a fantastic score of 205.4.
And that is a score, which will put him in the reckoning at any World Cup, any shooting World Cup. In fact, last year, Yang Haoran, the world champion, won the gold in this event with 206. So clearly, he's not too far off. And what he has shown is that even though there was a momentary blip in his shooting in the middle, he had that mental resolve to bounce back. And he has been the most consistent shooter over the course of this competition.
Absolutely. That was the biggest takeaway from that performance. There was not a single shot, perhaps, of 10.9 as such, but there and thereabouts. He was there with 10.5s, 10.4s all the way through. And that's the sign of somebody who's consistent all the way. There's the final three medalists. Mohammad Hossain Karimi of Iran, right in the center. 19 years of age, outstanding shooting, 205.4 after scoring 626.4 in the qualifications. Magnificent work. And I think Pratik Borse can also consider himself to be quite proud of his achievement. 203.9 is a fantastic score, which on any other given day might have won him gold, Digvijay.
It would have, and the good thing is that he's going to be stepping on that podium. I think that individual medal was lacking. They had a couple of team medals, but it's always a different feeling to be standing on the podium as an individual medalist. There's more recognition for that. And obviously what this will do is give him more confidence. And what it shows is that our bench strength is pretty strong. Pratik, in fact, is part of the junior team, which is coached by Deepali Deshpande, who's a former Olympian herself and shot for India along with Suma Shirur and Anjali Bhagwat. There was a time when those three dominated Indian air rifle shooting. So clearly, the junior shooters are following in the footsteps of Mr. Bindra and Mr. Naran.
Absolutely. So that's the confirmation. Karimi with the gold and Pratik Borse in second position from India, and Han Chang-hee of Korea finishes third in this particular finals of the 10-meter air rifle men junior.
Ceremony at 3 o'clock. Spectators and the winners requested to please be in the final hall latest by 3 p.m. We will be having the victory ceremony. Medal winners are requested to report prior at 2:45 in the athlete area.